want you guys to do something for me. Can you look around at each other and think of something that makes you unique from the person sitting next to you? What makes you different? Raise your hand and let me know. Jeanette?
I have straight hair, and she has curly hair.
Yes, exactly. You guys have different kinds of hair. How about you, Mia?
She has a striped sweater, and I have a not striped sweater.
Exactly. You guys have different kinds of sweaters on. That's great. Anything else to add? Yes.
I have
one more.
glasses, so she's
That's
wearing
perfect.
glasses.
Yes,
I have
exactly.
glasses too.
You have glasses too, Cece. I love it. Okay. So as you can tell, you guys have different things about you that make you unique from the person you're sitting next to, right? Exactly. So today we're going to start a new lesson, and we're going to be learning about a girl in a book who was different from some of the people that went to school. She had dark skin, and the people that went to school had light skin, okay? And they were separated in 2 different schools, okay? And we're going to learn about how she did something very brave, and she used her unique differences to make a positive impact in the world, okay? So I want you guys to do something for me. I want you to read the objective with me. This is where we're going to go in the lesson, okay? This is what you guys are going to know how to do by the time we're done, okay? Ready? I will be able to determine questions about who and what based on the book by completing a word bank activity. Perfect, okay? So we're about to start the story, okay? And as we transition in, I want you to put your listening ears on, and I want you to pay extra close attention, okay? Because I'm going to be asking you guys some questions while we're reading, okay? Can you do that for me?
Yes.
All right. So the story that we're going to read today is called The Story of Ruby Bridges. All right? Okay, here we go. Ruby Bridges was born in a small cabin near Tylertown, Mississippi. We were very poor, very, very poor, Ruby said. My daddy worked picking crops. Before we go on any further, Cece, can you tell me what a crop is? Have you ever heard of that word before? Yes.
Like a crop top?
Not exactly, okay? So a crop is a vegetable that we grow in a field, okay? So it's something that you would grow in a field that you would eat, okay? So a vegetable, right? You guys eat vegetables, your parents make you eat vegetables, yeah? Yeah, so you would grow it in a field and then you eat it. So that's what it's talking about in the book. We just barely got by. There were times where we didn't have much to eat. The people who owned the land were bringing in machines to pick the crops, so my daddy lost his job, and that's when he had to move. I remember us leaving. I was 4, I think. Can anyone tell me who the main character of the book is? Do you guys remember what the little girl's name was?
Ruby.
Ruby, exactly. Ruby Bridges. It talked about it in the very first sentence. All right, so that's what we're learning about in this book, okay? All right, let's continue. In 1957, the family moved to New Orleans. Ruby's father became a janitor. Does anyone know what a janitor is? That sounds like a new vocab word. No? Any thoughts? All right, a janitor is a person who takes care of a building. All right, so Ruby's father became a janitor. So he was in charge of the building. He would make sure that the lights were turned off at night, that the doors were locked, things like that, right? Her mother took care of the children during the day. After they were tucked in bed, Ruby's mother went to work scrubbing floors in a bank. Every Sunday, the family went to church. We wanted our children to be near God's Spirit, Ruby's mother said. We wanted them to start feeling close to Him from the very start. At that time, black children and white children went to separate schools in New Orleans. The black children were not able to receive the same education as the white children. It wasn't fair and it was against the nation's law. Okay, so just a quick question. Let's pause for a second and talk about what kinds of children had to go to separate schools. Do you guys remember? What kinds of children were separated? Does anyone want to help me out here? Brittany?
The black and white children.
The black and the white children, exactly. And Ruby had black skin, so she couldn't go to the same school as the white children. In 1960, a judge ordered 4 black girls to go to 2 white elementary schools. 3 of the girls were sent to McDough 19, 6-year-old Ruby Bridges was sent to first grade in the William France Elementary School. Okay, so really quickly before we move on, does anyone remember, maybe Yanette, would you like to answer this one? A judge, what did the judge order the children to do?
To go to another school.
Exactly, the judge ordered 4 girls in total to go to the schools, right? So they were going to go into the schools with all of the white children. Could you imagine how scary that must have been? Yeah, that must have been really scary, huh? All right, let's keep going. Ruby's parents were proud that their daughter had been chosen to take part in an important event in American history. They went to church. We sat there and prayed to God, Ruby's mother said, that we all be strong and we have courage and we get through any trouble. And Ruby would be a good girl and she'd hold her head up high and be a credit to her own people and a credit to all the American people. We prayed long and we prayed hard. All right, there's a phrase in here. It's not exactly one word, but it's a phrase. And it's kind of newer. It's a little bit different. I don't think we've heard it before, but it's called a credit. All right, so you know how it says, and Ruby would be a credit to her own people? Does that maybe sound kind of confusing to you guys in your head, just a little bit? Yeah. Okay, so what that means is it means that Ruby would do something worth mentioning for her people. She would do something good for them, right? So Ruby's taking a pretty brave step, right? In going into a school with all white children. She's the only person that has black skin that's different, right? Her own unique difference. So when it says she would be a credit to her people, that's her. It's saying that she's going and she's making her people proud, right? She's doing something good for them. Okay. As we finish this section of the book, we're going to continue reading tomorrow and the day after. Okay, but I just want you to turn to your neighbor, the person sitting next to you, and I want you guys to do something for me. I want you to ask a question to your neighbor about the book, and then I want your neighbor to respond, and then I want you guys to switch. Okay? Does it make sense? Show me thumbs up, thumbs down. You got it? Thumbs up? Okay. So go ahead and take about 30 seconds to do that. All right? All right. Cece, do you want to share with me about something that you read?
The black children and the white children have to go to separate schools.
Yes, that's what you guys talked about, you and Mia. Yeah, I love that. How about you guys?
Please, said the same.
The same thing? Yeah, so you guys got that part. Yeah, they had to separate and go to different schools. Okay, so as we continue on, before we do the measurement that's in front of you, the activity, I want you guys to focus on me and focus on the board because we have to learn something before we move on, okay? So, do you guys remember from the objective what 2 words we're talking about today? What 2 types of question words? Yeah, Mia.
Who and what?
Who and what? Perfect. Okay. So there's actually 6 different question words, okay, that all start with the letter W. All right, so we call them the 6 W question words. All right, and we're going to be learning about these 6 throughout the next 3 days. But today, remember what Mia said, we're focusing on the who and the what questions, right, based on the reading. But I want to teach you guys how to write the questions, okay, because that might be a little bit confusing because we haven't done that quite yet. So what was the first one? Brittany? Who? Love it. Okay, so you're going to start the sentence with the word who, okay? The question word is always the first word that you start with, all right? And now I'm just going to write lines here because we haven't come up with the question yet. So say who, and then this is your sentence, and what comes at the end? Does anyone know? This is a little bit newer. Annette, do you have any idea what comes at the end of the sentence?
Is it like the shape of the question mark?
Yes, the question mark. That's great. That's a new word for us. Okay, so question mark. It comes at the end, all right? So just like that. So your question always is going to start with one of the W words, and then it'll end with what?
Question
mark. Perfect. Okay, what was the second word that we were focusing on today? The second question word that starts with W. Yes,
What?
Yvette? What? Perfect. So is that going to go at the beginning?
Yes.
Yes? Okay. Ready? What? And then we'll do lines. And what comes at the end?
Question mark.
Question mark. Perfect. All right, so this is how you're going to write your questions. And in the measurement, I put in front of you just the worksheet that we're gonna do. The directions, if you listen closely, there's a word bank at the bottom, and you're only going to use one word for each blank, okay? So you're gonna look at the question word, you're gonna say, I wonder what comes at the beginning. Is it who or is it what? And then you're gonna fill in the rest of the question and then the answer to that question with words from the word bank. You'll notice that they're all words from the book that we learned. So this is helping us determine questions about who and what based on the stuff that we learned in the story today. All right, so I'll be walking around observing. If you guys have any questions, just let me know. Let's get started, okay?